بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
والنجم إذا هوى ما ضل صاحبكم وما غوى.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين، أما بعد. باب من دعا لصاحبه أن أكثر ماله وولده. عن أنس رضي الله عنه قال: دخلت على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يوما وما هو إلا أنا وأمي وأم حرام خالتي، إذ دخل علينا فقال لنا: ألا أصلي بكم؟ وذاك في غير وقت صلاة. فقال رجل من القوم: فأين جعل أنسا منه؟ فقال: جعله عن يمينه. ثم صلى بنا ثم دعا لنا أهل البيت بكل خير من خير الدنيا والآخرة. فقالت أمي: يا رسول الله، خويدمك أدعو الله له. فدعا لي بكل خير. كان آخر في دعائه أن قال: اللهم أكثر ماله وولده وبارك له. This chapter in this book of Imam Bukhari rahimahullah, Adabul Mufrad, is about making dua for someone for Allah to increase his wealth and his children. This is a good dua to make? And of course, Imam Bukhari rahimahullah, even at that time, may have realized that there are people who would consider making dua for increasing the wealth to be against our deen. You don't want to make dua for increasing someone's wealth. Okay, may Allah make you more abid, give you more ibadah, but don't make dua for increasing wealth. So he has this chapter here, increasing the wealth and increasing children, having more children. Anas radiallahu anhu says, once I went to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now, we see something that Anas radiallahu anhu is not mentioning in between, and we see this a lot in the hadith, as we may call it, is fast forward. So, in the next part he says, it was me, my mother, and my paternal aunt, Haram radiallahu anha, إِذْ دَخَلَ عَلَيْنَا. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came to us. So at the beginning he's saying, I went to him, and then he's saying, he came to us. That simply means Anas radiallahu anhu went to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and maybe on behalf of his mother and his aunt, he went and he requested Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to visit them. So Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam accepted the invitation and he went to visit them. Anas radiallahu anhu says it was the three of us. Anas radiallahu anhu himself, his mother, and his aunt Haram radiallahu anha. إذ دخل علينا. Prophet ﷺ came to our home. فقال لنا ألا أصلي بكم. He said to us, should I lead you in salah? Anas radiallahu anhu says, وذاك في غير وقت صلاة. It wasn't the time of fard salah. So he's not leading us, leaving the jama'ah of the masjid and leading us in our home. In fact, this is the time of some nafil prayer, which means it's not the time of fard salah, he's leading them in nafil salah. Someone interjected and asked Anas radiallahu anhu at that time, so if Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was leading you, فَأَيْنَ جَعَلَ أَنَسًا مِنْ? Where did he make Anas to stand in the saf? Because the reason that question came up, it's Prophet ﷺ that's leading the salah. There are two women, so of course they're going to be in the back. and it's Anas radiallahu anhu who's a child. Could be anywhere between 10, 11, 12 years old. So now, is Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam considering you part of the jama'ah, keeping you in a place in the saf, or he is not considering the children as part of the jama'ah? What was the position? It's another detailed topic, but very briefly, generally, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us the rule is لِيَلِيَنِي مِنْكُمْ أُولُو الْأَحْلَامِ وَالنُّهَى. I want the people of good understanding, sound mind, intelligent people, knowledgeable people to be next to me. So those will be the people close to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which means in the front saf. Then he said, ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ. Then those who follow them, then those who come next in this situation, which means in being understanding, knowledgeable, wise people. So the saf should be accordingly, which means, according to this, children will be in the back saf. Now, we lined up the sufuf, and men are in the front, children in the back. Later on, other men would come and join the jama'ah. Now, say if we had a saf that was not full, so we had the children on the sides. Now, the next people that come, what we see many times is people will keep on pushing the children away. So anyone comes, he would move this child and he will come in between. Then the next person, the child who standing in the middle of the saf at the end of the salah is by the wall. This is not correct. Once salah have started and children have taken their places in the saf, then that is their place. No one has the right to push them away. No one has the right to pull them back. They are there in the saf, so that's their part in the saf. People who come late, it's their fault. It's a lesson for us to learn. Next time come early. But don't pull the saf, don't pull the children, or don't push them away. Because Prophet ﷺ was giving them their place in the saf. And then that is their place. No one is removing them from there and telling them now some adults came, so now you move away. So that's their place in the saf. And women will be behind. This is how we see. There is another incident similar to this where it was Anas radiallahu anhu, his mother and his grandmother. And we had that hadith before. This is another separate hadith where it's Anas radiallahu anhu, his mother and his aunt. So when this person asked Anas radiallahu anhu, where did Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made you stand in the saf? So he said, جَعَلَهُ عَنْ يَمِينِهِ. He made me stand on his right hand side. This will lead us to another question. Or one lesson that we learn, and that is, it is Imam's responsibility to make sure people are standing in the right position, which means saf are straight and are according to how they're supposed to be. That is Imam's responsibility. So Imam is supposed to make sure that the saf are straight. Generally, Prophet ﷺ, when he used to come, he used to look back and make sure the saf is straight, and he would also sometimes used to tell them, "Istawu, sawu sufufakum, la takhtalifu fatakhtalifa qulubukum." So he will advise them to have a straight saf, and then he will start the salah. After some time, when he realized, and this is in the hadith also, that now people know how to make a straight saf, they don't really need anyone to tell them because the Sahaba already learned how to make a straight saf. So he used to come and just start the salah right before, without even looking back. Then occasionally, sometime he will look back. Sometime he would tell them, "Istawu, make yourself straight." So it depends. It's not a sunnah of salah to make that announcement, but if there is a need, then it is a sunnah to make that announcement, to look back, to make sure that everyone is standing straight before the Imam will start the salah. The other thing that we learn from this is that Imam is making one muqtadi, one follower, making him stand on his right side. So the Imam will be on the left side of this person, isn't it? If you are standing with the Imam, and Imam, you are on the right hand side of the Imam, so then Imam is on your left hand side. Why are you keeping the Imam on your left hand side? This is to tell us that because it is Imam's responsibility to straighten the saf. So when Imam is making someone stand, he's not going to make you stand on the left hand side. Doesn't look good. So Imam is going to make you stand on his right hand side. You are not making the Imam stand on your left hand side, because making the saf is not your responsibility, it's his responsibility. So he is doing it, and if he's doing it, then he's keeping you with respect, he's keeping you towards his right hand side. So this is why one person on the right side of the Imam. Then Anas radiallahu anhu continued with the hadith. ثُمَّ صَلَّى بِنَا. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam led us in the salah in prayer. This is nafil prayer in the house. Just family members are there. They are doing the salah with jama'ah. Nothing wrong with that. ثُمَّ دَعَى لَنَا أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ بِكُلِّ خَيْرٍ مِّنْ خَيْرِ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. Then Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made dua for us, the family members, with every good of this dunya and akhirah. He made a long dua in which he asked every good of dunya and akhirah for all of us. Anas radiallahu anhu says, at the end, my mother said, Ya Rasulullah, khuwaydumuk ud'u Allah lahu. Make dua for your little servant, Anas. فَدَعَانِي بِكُلِّ خَيْرٍ. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam again started the dua. And he made dua for me for every khair, for every good. Again, he made a specific dua for Anas on the request of his mother, for Allah to grant him every khair. For Anas radiallahu anhu doesn't read the full dua. He says at the end, كَانَ فِي آخِرِ دُعَاهِ أَنْ قَالَ. At the end of his dua, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Allahumma akthir malahu wa waladahu wa barik lahu. Ya Allah, increase his wealth, increase his children, and give him barakah. Anas radiallahu anhu is not married yet. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is making dua for him to have a lot of children. A lot of lessons that we learn from this hadith. It's a long list. Looking at some very important lessons that we learn from this hadith. That Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was invited, he accepted the invitation. He went there and he performed salah in their home. So it's a good habit that if you go to someone's house, pray a few rak'ah salah, nafil. Because it's not about me and you. It's about anyone performing the salah. Salah itself, by itself, is such a ibadah that a person who would perform this ibadah somewhere, there will be barakah and khair over there. So when a person would perform, this is why Prophet ﷺ encourages us to perform nawafil in our home, so that there is khair and barakah in our home. And he said, don't make your homes like a graveyard, where there is no salah, where there is no prayer. So this is one thing that we learn, that you go to someone's home, it's good to perform few rak'ah salah over there. Also, as we see that we learn from this hadith, for one follower to stand on the right hand side of the Imam. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made dua for them, and Anas radiallahu anhu heard the dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is telling us that after that salah, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam must have made dua loudly, that he was, Anas radiallahu anhu and the rest of the family members, they heard the dua. Now, very important thing that we need to remember about this, one is making the dua loudly after the salah. We see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did here. There are some other occasions where Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did it, and it's proven in the hadith. But remember this, on the other hand, we don't see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam making that a habit for doing the salah loudly after the jama'ah. When we're doing the salah with the jama'ah, with fard with the jama'ah, we don't see that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam making a habit of doing the dua loudly after the salah. Yes, he used to make dua, and Sahaba would make their own dua. So it was individual and it was silent dua. It wasn't loud dua that they used to make after the salah. Also, we see that Anas radiallahu anhu's mother, when she asked for dua, she could have asked for herself. She was a widow. And she was going through a lot of difficult life, family life and financial life. From both angles, she was in a very difficult situation. That did not stop her in any way from her commitment to the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and performing the ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so much so that she got to the level that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in the hadith in Sahih Muslim. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to Sulaym radiyallahu anha, when I was taken to Jannah, I heard your footsteps in Jannah. This is the mother of Anas radiyallahu anha. With all of these difficulties that she's going through, when she requested the dua, she requested dua for her child. She didn't request it for herself. This is showing us the love of mothers for their children. And subhanAllah, you know what an opportunity that was, especially when Sahaba are requesting Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for a special dua. They know what is the value of that dua. They understand the value of it. This is not a small opportunity here. This is one of the greatest opportunities of a lifetime. For people, for anyone who understands the position that we are looking at here, that who is this person that you're requesting the dua from? If Anbiya were around him, they will request him for dua. This is the greatest of all mankind. He's at your home. You can request him for dua and he's ready to make dua for you for whatever you ask for. She said, Ya Rasulullah, make dua for my son. And she doesn't use the word my son. She used the word your khadim. Ya Rasulullah, it was my son, I gave him to you. Now he is your servant, Ya Rasulullah. And then she used the word khuwaydan, which means small khadim. Ya Rasulullah, this small khadim of yours, small servants of yours, make dua for him. Which is also telling us the importance of requesting the pious people to make dua for us and our children. Of course, it does make a difference. For a person like me to be making the dua, and then I'm asking some pious person to make a dua. Even asking a normal person for dua, normal Muslim for dua, it is very valuable, because when another person is making dua, as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam once he said, that dua of a Muslim for another Muslim is always accepted. And someone asked, what is the reason behind it? So it was mentioned that you have done wrong with your own tongue. The other person, he may have done wrong with his tongue, but you haven't done anything wrong with his tongue. Correct? You haven't done anything wrong with his tongue. So your du'as and your needs are being taken to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a tongue by which you never have committed a sin. So your du'as are going on your behalf, pure and clean, where you haven't committed a sin through that tongue. So asking dua from a normal Muslim is always good, but especially now is here we see that Sahaba and Sahabiyat requesting Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for dua. So when we see a pious person, it's always good to request those people for dua. Not only this, we see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam requesting Umar radiallahu anhu for dua, telling us, ask dua, request dua from even your youngsters. Umar radiallahu anhu, when he was going to Makkah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, La tansana ya ukhayya fi du'aik. Oh my young brother, don't forget me in your dua. Umar radiallahu anhu says, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said a word to me that I would never trade it for the whole world and whatever it contains. That he used the word ukhayya, my young brother. He said, this is a word more valuable to me than the whole world. So, requesting dua from others, and especially from pious people, it's good. Then Anas radiallahu anhu says Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made a specific dua for me when my mother requested him for dua. He made a long dua for Anas radiallahu anhu, but at the end, Anas radiallahu anhu, in this hadith he mentioned three things, or two things we can say, that Allah, Ya Allah, increase his wealth and increase his children with barakah. Remember, that is the condition. It's not just having a lot, it's having these things with barakah. This is why when Qur'an teaches us to make dua for children, Qur'an teaches us, make dua, Rabbi habli min as-salihin. Ya Allah, grant me a pious child. Not just children, pious children. Because just having a lot of wealth, a lot of children, is not something that is going to be in our favor. Having them with barakah is in our favor. So having more, alhamdulillah, it's good to have more, but it's good to have more with khair and barakah. In another narration, which will come later on also in this book, Anas radiallahu anhu mentioned 4 du'as that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made for him. In addition to all the khair of the dunya and akhirah, he mentioned specifically 4 du'as, Anas radiallahu anhu. He says, number 1, Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made dua for me to have a lot of wealth. Number 2, for me to have a lot of children. Number 3, to have a long life, طول العمر. And number 4, غفران الذنوب, to be forgiven. Prophet ﷺ made these specific 4 dua for Anas radiallahu anhu. So Anas radiallahu anhu says, I buried more than 100 of my children and my grandchildren myself. This is how much barakah he had in his children, that he says, let alone the ones that are alive. I myself have buried more than 100 of my own children and grandchildren. Now you may think that he must have a lot more alive than the one that passed away. No, the reason is because, see, another part of the dua is, Ya Allah, increase his life, give him a long life. So he had a long life that most of the children passed away in his lifetime. The second dua that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made for him to increase his wealth, Anas radiallahu anhu says that my gardens and my farms produce fruit twice a year. The production in his farms were always twice a year, whereas every other farm was producing everything just once a year. But he had twice a year. And this is something, it was a clear sign that everyone was able to see it in those days. It wasn't something that is hidden. And he says, when it comes to the third prayer, Atil Umrah, Ya Allah, give him a long life, he said, وَطَالَ عُمْرِي حَتَّى اسْتَحْيَيْتُ مِنَ النَّاسِ. I got such a long life that I'm even ashamed to be around people. People ask me, how old are you? I'm 120. So, I'm ashamed of being around people. And he says, I expect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept the 4 dua also, that I will see the result of it on the day of Qiyamah, and that is to be forgiven, and for all of my sins to be forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The next chapter very quickly is Babul Walidat Rahimat, that mothers are very merciful. عن أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه قال جاءت امرأة إلى عائشة رضي الله عنها فأعطتها عائشة 3 تمرات. Anas رضي الله عنه says that a woman came to Aisha رضي الله عنها. She was asking for help. She was a needy woman. فأعطتها عائشة 3 تمرات. Aisha رضي الله عنها gave her 3 dates. فأعطت كل صبي لها تمرة وأمسكت لنفسها تمرة. This woman, she gave 2 of her children 1 date each, and she kept 1 date for herself. Subhanallah. This is all the food that they have. Aisha radiallahu anha gives away everything she has, and this woman is having 3 dates for 3 people. 2 of her daughters, in our hadith it was her daughters and herself. So she gave 1 of her daughters each date, and then she kept the 3rd date for herself. Aisha radiallahu anha says, فَأَكَلَ الصَّبِيَّانِ التَّمْرَتَيْنِ وَنَظَرَا إِلَىٰ أُمِّهِمَا. both the girls, they quickly ate the dates, and they both started looking at their mother, who was still holding to her date. فعمدت إلى التمرة فشقتها فأعطت كل صبي نصف تمرة. She took the third date that she was holding for herself, she cut it into half, she gave each of her daughters half of that date. فجاء النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, when he came home, فأخبرته عائشة, Aisha رضي الله عنها informed Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم of what she had seen. فقال وما يعجبك من ذلك. Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, are you surprised to see that? What is very surprising to you by seeing that situation? لقد رحمها الله برحمتها صبيها. Allah had mercy on this mother for her because she had mercy on her daughters. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had mercy on this mother because she had mercy on her daughters. Of course, we see here the love of mother for the children, and it is a fact in every situation. In every situation, generally, mothers, what they sacrifice for the children, you can never make a list of it. No one can start making a list of what mothers had sacrificed, not done, sacrificed for them, sacrificing their rest, their desires, anything that comes on their way of taking care of their children, regardless of how much they have the want of doing it, getting it done, fulfilling this desire, they will put it away. I can't do it because of my children. How much mothers have sacrificed their food? Sometimes really, every home, you run through that situation. Okay, there is some good food and it's only a little bit, and then there is something else that not everyone enjoys to eat. Mothers will give the children that food that everyone will enjoy. And children not even realizing what they're eating, they finish everything up very quickly, and mother will eat the leftover from days. And she won't even mention it to them. Not only that, ask her after a year, after even a month, she won't remember that she has done all of this for her children. This is the love that Allah placed in the hearts of mothers for their children. These mothers, the amount of love that they carry in their hearts for the children, it's something that they can never show it. No one can really see it. But the amount of sacrifice that they're giving, it's natural. It's natural. It's in the nature of the mother. Allah has placed it there. And here we see the rahmah of Allah. SubhanAllah. It's Allah's rahmah with us, that He put our love in our mothers' hearts. If our mothers didn't love us, they would never do all. No one would do that much for you. This is Allah's rahmah. How much we should be thanking Allah and be grateful to Allah for having that rahmah placed in the hearts of our mothers for us. And we know, you get things done through your mothers, things that you know that no one else in the world will do it. And this reminds me, as a villager accepted Islam, and then one day, someone said to him, we always need to fear the day of judgment. So he said, the day of judgment? He said, yes. A day will come when Allah will judge us. He said, wait, who will judge us? He said, Allah will judge us. He said, then I have no fear. Even if you would tell me my mother would judge me, I would have some fear. But if Allah is the judge, then He is Arhamur Rahman. He is the most merciful one. Really, our mother's love for us is really Allah's rahmah for us. But subhanAllah, it's natural. It's in the mother's heart. But we see here Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam telling us that this mother having rahmah on her daughters, she is getting the reward for it, and Allah has having rahmah on her because she is showing rahmah to her children. SubhanAllah. That all that's natural. She's doing it because it's in her heart. Still she's getting rewarded for it. And this is additional rahmah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us that love and mercy for our children and for our parents. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us love and mercy for all of our youngsters, for all the children. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our hearts soft, a type of hearts that carry rahmah for everyone. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا وحبيبنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
مولاي صل وسلم دائما